Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to LSR Division 2 Season 1. Tonight we will be going to the rainy circuit of Singapore. It's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be very, very exciting to see who can handle the treacherous conditions that will be going on tonight. Can Dan get back-to-back victories after his previous win in Bahrain, or will Sylvester get back on top after taking the first victory round Silverstone? All will unfold shortly as we are going straight into qualifying tonight. Now, as it stands, Sylvester is also currently P1 in the championship with an 11-point advantage on Dan. We do then have Mr. Ian Beale in P3. Mr. Camus is P4. Wilhelm P5. Sparkyman is P6. Rothwell in P7. John Boy P8. Raz in P9. And also Nico Hulkenberg rounds out the top 10 in the current standings. What can any of them do to make a claim into why they will be the first Division 2 champion in LSR? It's going to be very interesting to see. Is it going to be Inter's conditions for wets? And also, who will be first out on track? Who is going to brave it first? It's going to be interesting to see how long they leave it, and also how long this rain will go on for. Will it get worse? Will it improve slightly? As we do have a Red Bull who looks like they're going out first. Followed by what looks like a Ferrari. And we've also got someone a bit further down the pit lane as well, heading out. And it is indeed Trim Tabs who is leading out for the Red Bulls. So we have Kizzy 2 Dizzy, who is currently leading them out at the front of the pack. What can he do after quite a troublesome debut race round Bahrain? Can he get it hooked up a little bit better this week? Hopefully so. It'll be good to see him sort of show his true potential in this division. It looks like we've got roughly half the drivers who are looking to get a lap in early, with a few more heading out the pits as we speak. The main thing for me is, can everyone keep it on the track in this qualifying session, or will we see an early retirement? That is also a possibility around here. It is known for, although it does have quite a bit of runoff area, there are some tight corners. Yeah, it doesn't look like Kizzy is slowing down for anyone to get any sort of heat in his tyres, as Solo does retire from the session. That is due to him being a Division 1 driver, so he will automatically start from the back of the grid for Division 2, just to make it that little bit fairer on some of the newer drivers. As Kizzy is about to start his first flying lap over the line, he'll be hoping for no track limits. There is a track limit on turn 4 or 5, and it's just to the left hand side. It catches everyone out, even the best. Yeah, as he's taking it nice and steady. Very clean so far. And that's the one. Yeah, he's just managed to keep it in. Beautiful stuff. As we've also got, Sylvester has also started his lap as well. It's going to be interesting to see how he handles the wet conditions. I know a few of them have been putting in a bit of practice earlier on and over the last few days, just to make sure they are fully dialed in on these tougher conditions, as it's the first time that they've had rain in a league race. As we do have a yellow flag, and who is just trying to work out who that is. I believe it's Trucker. Yeah, Trucker's had a bit of an issue, as we've got... Is that Svander? Yeah, Svander's gone wide. Svander's gone deep into the hairpin, but luckily it doesn't seem to have any sort of issues. Oh yeah, no, wing's gone. The front wing has gone. But it's going to be interesting to see, as Kizzy has just passed him and he's still on that flying lap. No invalidation so far, so perfect driving. It's going to be interesting to see what sort of time he can put down as a marker for everyone else to try and get at. As Mort has retired from the session. It looks like Mort has... Yeah, Mort's put it in the wall. Mort has put it in the wall on his LSR debut. That is not what he'd be hoping for, but a 1:45.4 from Kizzy. It's quite a strong time, to be fair. What can trim tabs do in retaliation to that? Yeah, as he goes slightly faster with a 1:45.398. It'll be a good lap from him. Some good bankers getting set down now. As also we've got Ian Beale rounding the final corner with a 1:43.2. So he goes 2 seconds faster, as Wilhelm goes just behind. And it looks like Sylvester may have invalidated his lap by the looks of that. May have invalidated his first lap, so hopefully he'll be able to get back round and put in that banker time, if he has got enough fuel and battery spare ready for the rest of the round. As we do have a Haas also going round, and Rothwell slots himself nicely into P5 with a 1:45.5. He will definitely be hoping for some improvement on that, as he does have a lot of pace, and he showed that pace round Silverstone a couple of weeks ago. As Dan now goes P3 with a 1:43.7. Callum Bandit Camp half a second up the road from everyone else as it stands now with a 1:42.7. He will definitely be looking for some improvement on his previous drives, as he's been caught up in a lot of issues, especially around Bahrain. He was there with a number of collisions, not necessarily his fault, but still on the scene when they happened. So it'll be interesting to see what he can pull out in the rain in Singapore. As John Boy is rounding the final corner, looking to start his lap as well, followed by the Red Bull of trim tabs. Is he pulling it? Yeah, he's just peeled back into the pits, so he's not going to do any more, just fueled up for one lap, ready to go. As Sylvester is about to come across the line, goes even faster with a 1:42.4. These times are really coming down now. It's going to be so interesting to see what some of these drivers can do as the session progresses. Is it going to get worse? Is it going to get better? Only time will tell, as we do have another yellow flag in sector 1. I think that's just the AlphaTauri getting out the way of Kizzy. Yeah, as All Honda Man has also put his time in P9 currently. He'll definitely be looking to improve from that, as Trucker also into the 1:44s, just about so close to that 1:43, as yeah, Sam Ross in the AlphaTauri has binned it and put it in the wall just before the bridge section. What can John Boy do? Let's have a look with him on board, as Svander looks like he is about to round the final couple of corners, get the power down, and off he goes on his lap. Ooh, that was close to track limits there. He won't want to get any closer to the outside line than that, else he will be certainly in trouble. As he just dives into the pitch, clearly not happy with how his setup or his time is currently. As here we go. Fat Picasso has just started his lap. Here he goes. What can he do? Will he keep it on the track? He is a big fan of Singapore, so it's going to be interesting to see what he can throw up here. Looks pretty smooth through there so far. It's going to be interesting to see where he comes out. I'm predicting sort of top 7 for him. He's definitely got some good time around Singapore. A driver who likes the rain as well. So hopefully he can put a decent lap together for us here. We will stay on board with him for the whole lap. Yeah, very clean through there as well. Up to the bridge section. This hairpin is crucial. Little bit wide, but not a bad exit. So can he keep it hooked up nicely for the remainder of the lap? Yeah, nicely done there. Went a bit close to the Salesforce board, but not too bad. Nicely done on the chicane. He's... Oh, it's a little bit slower. P11. Was not expecting that. He will definitely be wanting some improvement on that, and I would like to think there's a lot to come in that time. As we do have Mr. Camus has also crashed. He seems to have crashed on the straight, which is... oh, he's facing the wrong way. Yeah, he's lost his traction there. So his qualifying session is over, as Rothwell on his split is 7/10 up. But he's going to need to find a lot more time than that. He's still about a second down on Sylvester in P1. What can Rothwell put up? Goes P3. Still sort of 8/10 off it. 7-8 off it. But he will be very, very happy with that. Starting P3. Bang on behind Sylvester. Going to be interesting to see with that battle. Can they fight it out like they did at Silverstone? It was brilliant to watch. As we've got John Boy back out as well. Hopefully he can set a lap this time, because it's not looking promising for him. After having some issues in the first race with his console, and last week just didn't really put too much together. Yeah, it looks smooth through the first couple of corners. Oh, a little bit tail happy on the exit of turn 3. There we go, perfect. So we've also got Svander behind him. Is Svander on a lap? It doesn't look like he's going overly fast, to be fair. Looks like he's taking it pretty safe. Yeah, nicely done through there. Get the power down. Not too early. Let's have a look on the hairpin. Spot on. Perfect. It's probably the best one we've seen so far, in my opinion. He's looking on it. Let's hope he doesn't invalidate and he keeps it perfectly on the track, and he could be on for a nice little lap here. Here he comes up to the chicane. Yeah, spot on. Oh, as he nearly brushes the wall, but just manages to keep it out. Goes into P12 with a 1:44.5. Again, he's probably looking for some improvement on that. He's currently 2 seconds down on the fastest time, so let's hope he can find some good improvements and we can get some serious competition and hope the times start tumbling down. As we've also got Trucker has just gone 3/10 up on his time and jumps a Dan into P9. But it doesn't seem like many others are really putting in too faster times, to be fair, in comparison to where they are currently. So we've got Trim Tabs is just started a lap. Let's have a look what his splits will be at the end of Sector 1. He again will be hoping for some big improvements. Yeah, 3/10 in the first sector split. But he's going to need to find a lot more through this tricky sort of middle section. This is where your lap is won and lost. As he looks like he's got a Ferrari behind him. Is that Sparky Man? So we've got Sparky Man and Ian Beale also on a fast lap. Ian Beale is currently 7/100ths down on his time though. That is not ideal for him. As we've got the Aston of All Honda Man has just started his lap. Let's have a look. Trim Tabs coming up to the second sector split. Yeah, he's lost a little bit of time as he has also given Ian Beale an advantage. And Ian Beale is now nearly a 10th up. But also, will he be getting hindered by the little bit of slowness through the corners of Trim Tabs? But he is getting a lovely slipstream down those straights. It's just getting pulled along. As Ian Beale loses nearly 5/10 on that last sector. Will that be to do with Trim Tabs being in front of him? But the drivers know you've got to leave that bit of space as Sparky Man is also coming. Will Ian Beale give him a tow down the straight? It doesn't look like he is. It looks like Ian Beale is wanting to just get on with it and just try and get back towards the pits. Oh no, he probably won't have time to get back to the pits. Is he going for another fast lap? If so, you probably want to just slow it down a little bit and get that ERS back. Yeah, Sparky Man nearly 1/10 down on the first sector. As there is a lot of congestion at these corners. As Baker Man has also started up. As we've got a McLaren. And McLaren is currently stopped on the track. It was John Boy. As we've got Raz has just... Yeah, Trucker has retired from the session. Oh, Trucker... Oh, he's retired in the pits. Perfect. Nicely done. That's what we like to see. We don't like to see drivers retiring on track. It is not ideal. What can... As the times are going to start flying in now. As Sylvester has also just started his final flying lap. What can Sylvester do? What will his first 3.5 up? He is throwing the gauntlet down so far to everyone and just saying, catch me if you can. What can everyone do? Is Callum Bandit Camp is in the pits, so he is not going to be putting any time together. Rothwell is way down on his time, so we're not going to see any improvement from him. Ian Beale's down on his time looking at it, and he has invalidated that lap. Wilhelm has invalidated. Sparky Man is 8/100ths down on his time currently. As Baker Man is round on the start finish line. Dan is 6/100ths down. It's going to be interesting as Fat Picasso is half a second up. There is that bit of improvement that we were looking for through the first sector split. Svander is also 1.6 seconds down. What can Sylvester do coming up to the line? Oh, and Sylvester's invalidated. Sylvester has invalidated that. Yeah, Ian being invalidated. Sparky Man is still going. It's going to be interesting to see with Sparky Man followed by the two Mercedes. Can any of them get anywhere near the sort of top 3 or 4? Sparky Man goes into P2. That is a brilliant lap from him. As Dan comes around the final corner and moves up to P6. And Fat Picasso moves up to P12. Raz has also invalidated. So that will be that in qualifying here at Singapore. So it will finish Sylvester P1. Sparky Man P2. Callum Bandit Camp rounding out the top 3 for you. Now, I believe tonight the drivers are adhering to a 5-minute break. It's going to be interesting to see if they manage to stick to it. But following on, we've got Rothwell P4, Ian Beale in P5, Dan in P6, Wilhelm P7, Mr. Camus P8, Bakerman P9, Trucker P10, All Honda Man in P11, Fat Picasso P12, Raz P13, John Boy P14, Kizzy P15, Trim Tab is P16, Svander P17, and then we do have the 3 that didn't complete a lap in Sam Ross and Mort through DNF and Solo because he is the Division 1 driver. So boys, if you are in the chat, please, 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 there is a 5-minute break. Let's have a look. As Sylvester has said in the chat, he invalidated a 41.9 in the last corner, but because of that cut in the last corner, he's probably gained a little bit of time on that, so I don't know if we can fully class that as the official time he would have got. But still, he showed the pace. He didn't really need to get that sort of fastest lap out there. It was just more of a statement piece, I think, from him to say, look, this is what I could have done, and let's see what we can do in the race. But I believe somebody has readied up, so the drivers are up there, as we do have 5 red lights, and away we go. There we go, spot on from the drivers. Perfect, as we've seen, the Sparky Man and Callum Bandit Camp are fighting into turn 2 already, and that is allowing Rothwell to look to make up some positions, as him and Callum are now going side by side, as Rothwell just tucks in behind. There's a little bit of contact. Oh, as we've got an Aston round. We've got an Aston round. It is Mr. Honda Man. Honda Man is currently facing the wrong way, but he is back racing again. Perfect. As we do have a virtual safety car due to All Honda Man facing the wrong way at the start, but it's a better start than I think a lot of the drivers thought there may have been, as Svander has left the session. I don't know whether he has disconnected, but if we can get an invite back to him, that would be amazing. So looking at the position changes, top 7 all stay the same. Bakerman and Camus have just swapped round. Fat Picasso and Sam Ross up 7 places. He will be very, very happy with that, as we do also have Solar up 4 places, as Wilhelm seems to have crashed. Yet Wilhelm has gone into the wall, as well as NLM Trucker. Drivers not concentrating and ploughing into the wall, as Moore also gets a 5-second time penalty due to a collision with Trim Tab, and he has lost his end plate. So a few drivers getting caught up in stuff. The first couple of corners were perfect, and it seems to be carnage, but now it looks like we have a full safety car. A full safety car seems to be on the circuit. There just seems to be a visual glitch for some reason. Oh, as Pies has left the session. Let me just invite you back, Pies. Hopefully I do not get stuck in Race Director. There we go, that should be absolutely perfect. Let's have a look. Do we have any? Okay, Svander's wheel has died, so that is why he has disconnected from the race. As we've got another car has crashed. Sam Ross at the back of the grid has seems to have binned it. This is very confusing. Yeah, he's binned it by the bridge section. There is a lot of drivers here with a lot of damage. It just seems to be absolute carnage under this safety car. As I believe we're going to have some tickets in after this safety car, as Raz jumps into the pits. Sylvester is also in the pits as well, so this is, says Sylvester's in the pits, but he's definitely still driving. And it seems like he's stuck in pit limiter, and he's crashed into the wall. Same with Fat Picasso, and Raz is the only one who's managed to, as Chris's car is now stuck, accelerating into the wall. There's definitely seems to be a visual glitch here, as we also have a couple of drivers in ghost mode. Yeah, it seems like we are. Yeah, seems like we've had a few drivers disconnecting from the lobby, so I think we're going to try and get this sorted out. If any drivers, if you can just put in the chat if you have disconnected. But we do perfectly. We've gone on time with Kizzy, and he currently has no front wing. So that is perfect. But looking at it, I think Fat Picasso is now got going again. Hopefully He's not shown as ghosted. Yeah, perfect. Singapore, eh? Singapore in the rain. It's always bound to happen, but it adds to the excitement. We love safety cars. We love a bit of damage, a bit of rough and tumble. It just adds to that. Fuels to the fire in the drivers, really, in my opinion. The safety car is going around again, as apparently it's saying we've got other drivers in the pits. As we are, yeah, there's some serious connectivity issues going on with this lobby. Please do bear with us, as there has been an issue with the F1 game for the last couple of days, and it looks like we will be having a lobby restart. So if everybody can retire from the session, we will get this lobby restarted for you guys. There we go. We just need a few more to retire from the session, and all will be good. If the front runners can retire, it would be perfect. Please, boys. There we go, everyone's starting to go now. Just the final 5, and then we will... John Boy slammed into you, causing your front wing damage. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. That's absolutely fine. Obviously, as we've said in the chat, in the Discord, if you have a clip, please do submit the ticket. The stewards will then look at it, and if they deem there is an issue, then from there will be penalties handed out. But we are going to look at getting this lobby reset for you now. I can get an invite shortly. There we go, perfect. So we'll get the lobby reset as soon as possible for you guys, and from there we will look to, hopefully, fingers crossed, have no glitches in the lobby. Yeah, Mr. McLean, I have responded to the Discord message. So the drivers are starting to fill back in now. Boys, do not ready up until we have this sorted out, please, as we need to make sure everyone is in the right spot before we get back underway. You do have to feel a little bit sorry for Sam Ross and also Solo, as they did make up a few positions during the first couple of laps. It's going to be very interesting to see, will all of the drivers take the same approach, or will they go for a slightly different approach into it? For some reason it's saying Bahrain. That's not happening. Come on, boys. We've got 11 of the 20 drivers. Who can I invite? I know who I can invite. Let's get John Boy in. Let's get Mort in. And I think that is all the ones I have. And I've got Raz. Raz is in. If everyone needs to pick their teams. There we go, perfect. They are piling in now. "17 drivers in now." There we go, 2 to go. Pick your cards, please, gentlemen. Seems you've lost someone. Who has been disconnected? If I create a ticket, will it still matter even though it was before the restart? Still put a ticket in. Still put a ticket in. Obviously, with the POV of John Boy, it will all depend on if it was due to a desync or a disconnect, that there was contact. But still put the ticket in by all means, because if there was any bad driving, let's put it as that, rather than an intentional accident, then they'll look at it, and if they deem there is the wrongdoing, then they'll still penalise it. I think even with the lobby resetters, all races, regardless of if they're reset, if they're cancelled, everything should still be maintained to the highest level, in my opinion. Okay, we've got 20 drivers in now. Lobby is being sorted, then we will be soon to be back underway here in Singapore for Div 2 Round 3. hopefully shouldn't be too much longer for everyone viewing. And back underway. See, I believe we are shortly going to be back underway here. I think they are just sorting out the last couple of positions and just making sure that we do have all the correct drivers in here as well. I think there's a little bit of confusion going on between the drivers of what a lobby reset means. Some of them are asking if they can go back into the positions they were when the desync happens. But just to clarify, we will be restarting, I believe, from the qualifying positions. So it will be Sylvester up in P1, heading them out. And I believe it was Rothwell in P2 and Cam Bandit Camp P3. Watch Bakerman cook. It's going to be interesting. I've never seen him race before personally, Philbo, so it will be definitely interesting to see what he can do. Had a decent enough qualifying session, I think, for his debut. So let's see what happens. As we are just getting Pies typing a message into the chat. Let's go. Drivers, please do ready up if you are watching along. Hopefully we get a good first couple of corners. Wait, what? This is his first race on controller. He was on keyboard before. How do you race this on keyboard? Surely he'd be like 15 seconds a lap slower. Boys, please do not forget your setups. That is my one piece of advice. He was on 50 AI. But was he winning against 50 AI? That's my question. Because if he's not beating 50 AI, there's some serious changes that need to be made. crashing. That does not surprise me on keyboard. Was it keyboard and mouse? Was he using like the mouse to turn? Or was he just using the keys to, like you would on like an old school game? As we are looking finally to get back underway here in Singapore, and it is lights out. And away we go. Hopefully everyone is taking it steady into turn one. Oh, there's a bit of wings flying everywhere already, as we have got the Mercedes of Fat Picasso did cut turn one. We've got all Honda Man is all over the shop and all off the track in turn one. So we've got some positional changes. Let's get some lap data and also keep that on there for you, making sure we know of all the penalties that does happen, as Mr. Camus has flown backwards, as we've got Raz at the back, but Mr. Camus may have lost traction there. Has he got any damage? That is a question. Yeah, he looks like he's missing them plates. Vander and trim tabs have also come a cropper. Oh, as we've got, what has happened here? All Honda Man, trucker, trim tabs is also stuck, as we've got a safety car and some of the cars seem to be lagging again. Let's hope this isn't another lobby issue, as depending on if there is another lobby issue, we may have to postpone, but hopefully not. It seems like there was some crashing, but Sylvester has managed to keep himself in P1. Let's have a look at the rest of the grid. So Sparky Man's dropped 2 places, with Callum Bandit Camp and Rothwell picking up a place each. And we've also got Mr. Camus is down 10 places. Not be happy with that, but Solo and Mort up 7 and 5 respectively, and Sam Ross up 9 positions again. He is flying in lap 1 of both of these lobbies, as it looks like Mr. Camus was stopped again. So we've got a couple of cars in the pits. We've got John Boy and Fat Picasso. And Mr. Camus is also coming in for his wing change as well, into a fresh set of inters. So even though there's only been a lap, they will have a little bit of a tyre advantage when the tyres start to go off. So hopefully they can make use of that and start making their way up the grid again. But as Sam Ross has just overtaken Bakerman here. I don't know if there was, whether or not they'd got past each other previously and he's just giving the position back, but as hopefully, yeah, the back markers are starting to get their foot down. Will they catch him in time? Mr. Camus might not, so we might go round again, but he should hopefully getting his foot down. And yeah, he's getting his foot down, but it looks like we're going to be going around again here, as Sam Ross seems to have crashed and is now re-overtaking cars again. It's a weird situation here. I think drivers, if you can, please just stay single file behind each other. Leave enough space you don't hit anyone. Let's get this race back underway and hopefully have another 28, 29 laps of some great racing. Some perfect. Everyone seems to be more sort of single file now. Oh no, a couple of drivers have decided to pull out. And there's Fat Picasso is now. Yeah, John Boy is in the pits. Is this John Boy's second wing change, or is this his first? Not too sure, but he doesn't seem in a hurry to get going again. Yeah, it's his second pit stop, so he has crashed back on his outlap, which is surprising. So we've got a few tyres weaving on the straight to try and get some temperature in them tyres. Gents, if you aren't aware, bit of advice for you all: stick your brake bias 70% front brake bias whilst you're accelerating. Just brake a little bit, get your tyres warm. It's the quickest way to do it, in my opinion. It's the best way to do it. Yeah, you can see those as Sparky Man was channeling his inner Kimi Raikkonen there in the Ferrari. Just sat there, no tyre warming needed, just let's get driving. John Boy is just, can he see the back of them? Yeah, it looks like he's, yeah, he should catch up in time. We should be all good. Yeah, hopefully it should be safety car in this lap. Yeah, there we go. There is the notification. Boys, please don't hit anyone as you're slowing down. They all seem to be taking it relatively steady. So that is always a good sign with the drivers getting ready to get back underway here in Singapore. As Callum Banditcamp is trying to run, yeah, he's just slotted in behind him. As we are going to get back underway here, Sylvester keeping a constant pace. Rothwell, just slot back in behind, mate. You don't need to be side by side. Yeah, there we go, and we are finally away again. As Sylvester has binned it, got the throttle down a little bit too fast, and he's facing the wrong way. And please don't unghost. Please don't unghost. As Sylvester is now dropped down into last of the current runners, as it looked like that was Fat Picasso getting a move done on Svander. Oh, and there was a little bit of contact, but is he going to just, don't fight it, give him the position back? Yeah, perfect, nicely done. As Callum Banditcamp has now inherited the lead off of Sylvester after that spin, so he will be looking to dart away with Rothwell, hopefully pull a nice gap to the Ferrari boys in behind. The Ferrari boys, I have to say, are probably looking as the most consistent constructor so far. They always seem to be running side by side. There we go. They all seem to be sort of settled into a rhythm now, with Sylvester just dropping further and further back. It really does hinder you when you have no wind around Singapore, but especially in the rain, he is going to be struggling and having a terrible time of it. But the front two runners have now pulled 1.2 seconds clear of the Ferrari boys in behind, and they are really starting to spread out in only the first lap after the safety car. So we've had Fat Picasso's dropped a couple of places here, as we do have Mr. Ryan Howard in the background saying after that restart he may have had a little chuckle and spat his drink out at the driver on the restart spinning, as that is not the best way to get in the pits there from Fat Picasso. But he looks like he's coming in for another stop on his wing change as Sylvester also peels into the pits. As It's looking comfortable for these two boys out in front. Callum Banditcamp looks like he is really set on making amends for sort of last week and the troublesome time he did have. Maybe he is a bit of a wet weather specialist. Who knows? Who knows with all the races to come. More is past Kizzy Dizzy, but we do have a yellow flag out. Let's have a look as we've got John Boy is currently ghosted and Mr. Camus has just started going again. It's going to be interesting to see because John Boy is not actually... I wonder if John Boy knows he can go. Yeah, okay, perfect. Whether or not there was a bit of contact between John Boy and Mr. Camus and he was just giving the place back. If so, massive respect to him for doing that. As Sparky Man seems to have pulled back as we've got another yellow flag as Mr. Camus has crashed. Bringing out yet another safety car. He seemed to have crashed in the bridge section. So now the boys will have a delta. It's going to be interesting to see what the restart's going to be like. In all honesty, will they have a better restart than last time? Can Callum Banditcamp keep the car in a straight line as Sylvester couldn't manage to previously? It's all interesting things as it doesn't look like anyone is pulling into the box, so we don't have any wing damage as it stands. But as I always say, lads, single file, give each other a bit of space, especially in the wet conditions, because if someone breaks in front of you, you're not going to stop. That is my words of wisdom for tonight. And please, Callum, don't drive too close to the safety car. Don't risk getting disqualified, because that happens way too often in this broken game. But it seems like the boys are listening, and they are all just sat single file. As John Boy has DNF. See Callum. Callum nearly gets caught out by the safety car there. As John Boy, thank you for retiring in the pits, mate. That is greatly appreciated. As Fat Picasso has picked up a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limit warnings. So he has picked up a time penalty under the safety car. He will be fuming with himself about that. And Sylvester is also looking to get back on track here, as he is. Looks like we're getting a little bit of desync again. Hopefully there isn't too much of a problem in the lobby, but by the looks of where the other cars are, we will be going round yet again before we go racing. Yeah, nicely done, boys, as we've got the Mercedes. Dan, get back in line. Single file, please, gentlemen. Saves any issues, saves any side-by-side racing and any penalisations that might happen. Yeah, we're definitely going around again here, people. Oh, this is why you need to leave the space. I wonder, will we see anyone peel in the pits with any front wings after the first lap of the safety car? Callum, if you can hear me, please back up from the safety car. Please, just a little bit. Yeah. So we have two drivers currently in the pits. We've got Raz and also Trim Tab looking to get wing changes. So there was a little bit of contact under the safety car, but on the overall the drivers are behaving themselves and hopefully continue to do so for the remainder of this race tonight. Callum is testing his luck with Burnt Mylander out front, but it looks like all the boys are starting to catch up with Trim Tabs and Raz. Yeah, Raz is just about getting on to the back of the pack, but Trim Tabs is still a long way off. Mr. Trim Tabs, get a wriggle on, put your foot down. Safety car is in this lap as Callum Banditcamp wants to get on with it straight away. He is in a hurry. Don't go too fast, Callum, because you will get limited, and please do not brake check the cars behind you. Yeah, and Callum Banditcamp has been limited. Yeah, so this is what happens when you get too close to the safety car on the restart. It messes everything up in behind. But we are finally back underway as Wilhelm gets past Ian Beale, splits the fries, but Ian Beale is back there as there is a little bit of contact between Sam Ross and Dan, as also Bakerman is looking at getting involved here as Solo has got past Mort in the Aston Martin here, and he will be looking. Oh, there's a little bit of contact again. Oh, there's a lot of contact. Okay, they've all made it round. They have all made it round. That is what we like to see. We want good, clean, hard racing here at LSR. As Dan gets past Bakerman. Oh, a little bit of contact on the exit, but I don't know whether it was just a bit of a squiggle out of the corner from Dan. Has made that little bit of contact as Sylvester is already up to P12. Fat Picasso has dropped down again. He will not be happy with how his night is going so far, but hopefully he can pick it back up and look to make some positions again with the slight tyre advantage he does have on some of the drivers here tonight. But as it stands, Callum Banditcamp has pulled a little bit of a gap here as Rothwell has just pulled completely offline and let Sparky Man through. I don't know what that was about, but we will have to find out later on in the race, as we do in the background have Bakerman and Dan going near enough side by side again as they are very close. Is this going to end well, or is this going to end in tears? It looks like it's ended well currently, but I'm sure Bakerman will be straight back on the attack shortly, as Fat Picasso has overtaken Raz, as Raz seems to have potentially made contact with a wall or made a bit of a mistake. Yeah, he seems to have all of his wings, so he may have just made a slight error and has allowed a couple of drivers to get past him. But hopefully Raz can continue, get his head down, get into a bit of a rhythm and find his way back up a few places and hopefully get himself back into the points, as Svander has crashed into the wall on the exit of turn 3, and it is another safety car here tonight, people. Tony Mina's favourite. If Tony was commentating now, he would be loving life. But hopefully all of the drivers will drive respectfully under the safety car. No front wing changes. No crashing into the back of the safety car. Callum Banditcamp, please leave a bit more space to the safety car. Otherwise, you will get limited again and everyone will cluster up and we may have crashes. So on the restart, please do allow the safety car to fully get in the pits and then just hoon it from the start. If you spin, you spin. Makes for great viewing in my opinion. So we currently have 15 drivers still remaining here through 9 laps of Singapore. So in the grand scheme of things, 15 drivers in the wet round Singapore, that's not bad. That's not bad at all, especially considering this is some drivers' first ever league racing experience, as we do have Sam Ross pulling himself into the pits. We'll be looking to get that wing changed by the looks of things. As Callum Bandit Camp has gone straight back to getting a slipstream from the safety car and parking. Here we go. Can Sam Ross catch the safety car before the safety car is due to come in? That is the question. Because I would love to see it go racing first time. Here we go, as they are going through the slow section down the straight. Where is Sam Ross? Get a wriggle on, Mr. Nico Hulkenberg, as his Discord name suggests. He's caught, near enough caught onto the back of them, so will the safety car come in, or is it going to stay out? Nah, I think they're going round for one final time again. Yeah, it seems that way. Seems that way. Here we go. So it looks like, do we have a car peeling into the pits? No, someone was baiting a pit stop, which doesn't really work in the rain. Doesn't always. Rothwell is getting very, very close to the back of Spikerman here. As Sam Ross in the pits again, or is he? No, he just overtook Raz, and as Raz gets a 5-second penalty for a severe collision with Sam Ross. So, depending on what's happened there, Raz will be looking to potentially get that removed. But then again, Sam Ross is basically driving side by side with him, which for me personally is not allowed. Here we go, as they're all perfectly in line. Half the circuit to go, and then we will be back racing. Hopefully, this may be the last safety car we have, as there is a maximum number that you can have, as Sam Ross has just picked up a 5-second penalty for a severe collision with Razal. So, who has a damage here between these two? These two just seem like they're in fully just bumping into each other. Here we go, as just coming down the last straight, so we should get the notification anytime. There it is, safety car in this lap. Now Callum, back up from the safety car. You don't have to follow it. Slow right down. That's it. Let the safety car go. You can even go a little bit slower if you want. Let that safety car go. As soon as he is fully in the pit, then you decide how you start this race. Looks like Callum is going potentially early again. as we are about to be back underway here at Singapore. Can he keep the car straight? Yes, he can indeed. In my opinion, there is no better sight than watching the cars come around the final corner of a lot of circuits in single file. It just looks spectacular, in my opinion, as Raz and Sam Ross are battling again. Sam goes up the inside of Raz and gets that move done pretty easily. It looked like Raz went a little too deep into turn 3. Yes, Tony, how are you tonight, my sir? How was your race? You would have loved this. We've already had 3 safety cars, 3 or 4 safety cars even, and a desync. So we've had a lobby reset. It's all been going on tonight. As Solo gets past Sylvester. Now, Solo is going to be a tricky customer for Sylvester to get past. He is usually a Division 1 driver. I say that, and he makes a mistake, and Sylvester straight through. As Moore is looking to go on the attack as well and get that job done. Oh, as he makes him go a little bit wide, and there's lucky not to be any contact there. Oh, as Solo is giving him a little bit of a nudge. What's going to go on at this hairpin? Yeah, Solo takes it extra wide as Kizzy ghosted through his car, which is absolutely happy to go. As we've got a yellow flag, and that is Sparky Man is facing the wrong way, but he's back going again. Please no safety car. Please no safety car. There we go. Perfect green flag conditions. We are off racing again. As Sparky Man has still got his wing as well. As Kizzy has left the session. If we can get an invite out to him, potentially if he has disconnected, that would be fantastic. But we're looking as Sylvester is now up into P6. This man is on a mission since he did lose his back end on the first safety car restart. Yeah, Tony, I fully understand your suffering. This track in the rain is the worst for safety cars and virtual safety cars. I honestly sympathise with you, how you put up with us for so long. As Callum Banditcamp has pulled a 4.5 second gap on Ian Beale in second. He has caught everyone napping, but I think Ian Beale may have been caught up in that bit of a commotion with Sparky Man facing the wrong way. So that has realistically handed Callum a huge lead, as Sylvester is now past Dan. But Dan, knowing Dan, he will be looking to fight that. Thank God Phil. Yeah, thank God Philbo is not on track. But someone that Philbo knows, Baker Man, is definitely one to watch, Philbo said. And he looks to be doing okay. He's up in 7th. He's taking it pretty steady in the Haas. He doesn't look to be doing anything outlandish, anything outrageous. Just makes it simple. And yeah, close to the back of Dan there. As Wilhelm does move up also into P3, into the podium positions. As Sylvester is potentially looking to have a little go as well. No, but Rothwell just covers him off. And gets a brilliant exit, to be fair. And he's actually back past Wilhelm. But Wilhelm, yeah, just tucks in behind him quite nicely there. Beautifully done. As Callum Banditcamp in this lap alone has pulled out another 6/10 on the pack. They really need to get a move on. Otherwise, Callum Banditcamp will just take this and run. As we do have Wilhelm is into the box. Potentially to, let's have a look. See if he's getting a wing change or whether or not he is just trying to undercut the pack. Because they may have to go for a pit stop here. Yeah, he's missing an end plate. Yeah, bit of contact there. And he's just getting that sorted. Kizzy was back in the lobby, so I'm hoping he takes control of his car again soon. And he can show us, although he is 45 seconds back, hopefully he can just show us a bit of a performance about what he's about and what he can do. And show everyone else that on his day, when everything's going right for him, he will be up there. But again, I can't see anyone catching Callum here. 6.5 seconds up the road now. Oh, as he nearly catches the wall. That could be the only thing that catches him out here. As Moore has dropped a couple of positions, and he's been overtaken by both Sparky Man and Solo. So Sparky Man looking to continue his recovery, as Fat Picasso is all over the back of Mort now. There's really a train of a few of them. I feel like somebody's going to go for up the inside into the hairpin. But no, but this lobby is lagging all over the place. But it's EA for you. What can you do? We just have to work with what we've got, unfortunately, as Kizzy is now back racing, it seems, which is good to see. And Wilhelm has got his wing on, and he is all good to go. But Sylvester now takes P2, but goes very deep. No, ooh, that's potentially an unsafe re-entry to the circuit there. As has he cost Ian Beale a bit of damage there? No, it doesn't look like it. He's just popping in for his pit stop. Here he goes. Yeah, Ian Beale is dropping right out the back. He may come out. Yeah, he'll come out in front of Wilhelm, but he will be looking to get a serious move on with this undercut on the driver's head, as Sylvester in the first 4 corners alone has took out nearly half a second on Callum Banditcam. He is seriously going to be on a charge, but what can Callum Bandit do if Sylvester gets on the back of him? Because really, if you're catching 7 seconds on the driver who's currently in first, you should be running away with it. But a little bit further down in the grid, we do have Dan currently getting pressured by Sparky Man. So if Dan makes any sort of mistake, then Sparky Man will be all over looking to capitalise. But they are also trying to keep on the back of Bakerman, who is up into P4. This was Philbo's dark horse. This is his first race on controller after previously racing on keyboard. As Fat Picasso is in the bin, and we do have Tony Mina's favourite driver coming back out on track. It is Bert Mylander. Let's have a little look. Oh, as Wilhelm nearly drives into the back of Ian Beale. Perfect. But as Wilhelm got a drive through penalty. Wow, that is not good for him. That is really not good. But also, this has invited Sylvester onto the back of Callum Banditcam. That 6 and a bit second advantage he did have is now gone. Now, you would like to think everyone will get into the box, but Rothwell and Bakerman are going to double stack here. This could cost the Bakerman a few positions. As hopefully no drivers get any 5-second penalties. They should all be good enough. Sam Ross has stayed out. Sam Ross has stayed out. So has Raz. Both of them staying out on track. This is going to be interesting. Yeah, Bakerman is getting held up in the pits. He has lost 2 positions to both Dan and Sparky Man here. Now let's have a quick look at these tyres. Yeah, Sam Ross is on 6 lap olds and Raz is on 9 lap olds. Unfortunately, they are going to be a sitting duck to the drivers in behind them. And both of them do have a 5-second penalty. It was obviously for collisions with each other. So let's just hope. Here we go. They are very well spread out here. As Wilhelm's put on new tyres, I don't know whether Wilhelm may have thought he could do his drive-through penalty under the safety car. But if that is the case, then he may have made a mistake. As we do have Solo in the chat saying, oh, as Wilhelm is now DNF'd. Wilhelm has put the car into a wall on his outlet. That is not ideal, but we did have Solo in the chat, in the Discord chat, saying next time he does not want to start from the back, as some of these drivers are too fast. What Callum Bandit-Camp will be praying for here is when he gets past the safety car and these first two on the restart, that they can maybe hold Sylvester up just a little bit. Otherwise, it's looking likely for another Sylvester victory here, unless Rothwell can even muster up something. He has snuck back into this race quite nicely after the bit of a collision with Sparky Man a few laps earlier. Oh, let's have a look. As Solo says, he's made an oopsie. Does he have some sort of wing damage? That is the question. Just missed it there. No, he seems to have all of it. Seems to be spot on. Mr. Fat Picasso did have to DNF through illness. He had a bit of a Logan Sargent moment halfway round. He just wasn't feeling well, so he just had to pull over, as the safety car will be in this lap. It's going to be interesting to see what Sam Ross does at the restart, as he's just back in the pack up slowly. Just back in the pack up nice and slow. Yeah, allowing the safety car to get away, give himself plenty of space, plenty of time to just build up momentum. But lads, please, no side-by-side action. We don't need crashes going around the last corner, because that will cause absolute carnage, as they are spread out all over the track here. A couple of drivers just trying to get that last bit of warmth into the tyre, but in my opinion, all they do when they're swerving is just put a bit of wear in it. There we go, as we are back underway here at Singapore. And it seems like Sam got a pretty good start. Oh, as here we go, Sylvester and Rothwell, those two that I was talking about after the previous battle at Silverstone, are looking to continue that fight here. But all that might do is allow Callum Bandit-Camp to snatch a little bit of a lead off them, as Callum Bandit-Camp should be looking to get past both Raz and Sam Ross pretty quickly here. Otherwise, he will be in a lot of trouble later on in the race. Oh, just sneaks up the inside. Yeah, nice. But he's also allowed Sylvester to get through. But Sylvester is basically getting boxed out of the way here. Oh, as there's a little bit of contact between Sylvester and Raz. But all three of the drivers, and also Dan has made it past Raz as well. Raz has really lost out after this safety car restart, now dropping. Oh, they're having a little bit of a battle, Oh, and we've got Sparky Man looking to go up the inside into the hairpin, as the cars are ghosting inside of each other. But I'm happy that happened, otherwise there would have been carnage on the hairpin, and that's the last thing we want to say. Oh, as we do have a bit of an incident, we got a yellow flag, as a lot of cars are scrapping it out coming around that corner. That seems to be the problem corner at the end of the second DRS straight, really, or what would be in dry conditions, as Trim Tab is currently missing an end plate. Do any of the other drivers have any damage? It doesn't appear so. None of them seem to be pulling into the pits, so it's looking positive, as Callum Bandit-Camp has made it into P1, and Sylvester, and Sylvester has touched the back end of Callum Bandit-Camp there, and he has caused wing damage to Sam Ross in the process. But Rothwell is now in P1 with no front wing. So that man will have some ridiculous straight line speed, but that will be all he does have. Oh, we're going 3 wide into... Yeah, as they just let Cannon Bandit come through. Oh, and there's carnage going on here. Yeah, nicely done, boys. As we do have a Haas round. Bakerman looked like he lost the back end. Still got all of his wing, as Raz is looking to make... Oh, there's a lot of lag and a lot of contact is all I can see on this screen. As Dan is now back up into P7, as Sam Ross is now... Yeah, this front wing is really hindering Rothwell. He needs to get himself back into the pits as soon as possible. But Sylvester and Callum Bandit Camp have both shot off and ran away from the pack, really. They've already pulled a 2-second gap on Sam Ross, who does have wing damage as well as Rothwell missing his wing. So their next realistic challenger would come in the form of Solo, the Division 1 driver here, trying to make an impact in Division 2 as well. He's had some good races up in Division 1, scored some good points, and I believe he was the Constructors winner as of last season. So we now have a few drivers in the pits, as expected, but Sam Ross has stayed out without an end plate. He is really looking to stretch these tyres, potentially look to go to the end, but you would think possibly unlikely without picking up a puncture, as they are already 10 laps old. But Sylvester and Callum Bandit Camp are now side by side, as Sylvester just swoops the lead, but Callum will look to defend up the inside. Yeah, he does, but it carries a bit too much speed and it goes off the track, which will invite Sylvester to make a move around the outside. But good respect shown by the drivers so far between these two. I think they understand it, that if they just keep out of each other's way, then realistically they should finish P1 and P2. But neither looks like they want to give up that. Oh, as there's Callum's wide. Whether or not Sylvester may have pushed him a little bit wide remains to be seen. But from what I saw, bit of harder racing, bit of elbows out on a few corners, but it's part and parcel of it all, really. As Moore has now picked himself up in P7. Let's have a look on... Yeah, so as we can see here, Sam Ross up 15 positions, Solo up 16, Moore up 12. And the biggest losers currently still is Rothwell down 7, Dan down 6, and Sparky Man is currently down in 4 positions of the runners that are still going currently. So it's been an interesting evening tonight. There's a few drivers who have really sort of shown their true potential in this Division 2, as well as some of the drivers coming down from Division 1 with the likes of Solo, who has got himself, as there's a bit of contact here between Ian Beale and Sam Ross, as I think Ian Beale may have sent it into turn 1 and 2, but we will see more of that as Sparky Man has also now got past Sam Ross. Sam Ross, if you can hear me, my advice, box, get a new wing on, get some new inters on, and pick up some pace towards the end, because you'll still, by the looks of it, you'll still be in the points, and then you can look to potentially pick some of these drivers off if there is any issues further down the line. But now Sylvester has picked up a 1.9 second gap now ahead of Callum Bandit Camp, but they are 6 seconds ahead of Solo. That is the last thing Solo will want to see, is the fact of in the next 10 and a bit laps he has got to pick up 6.5 seconds to even catch second place here. But the Ferraris doing as they always do, following each other. As I said earlier, these are the most consistent drivers. They will be next to each other on the grid every single time they race. It is oh, as we've got a bit of a dive there for a Mort. We do not want to be seeing that. Bit of a dive bomb, bit of a contact. especially on Mort's debut, coming in as a reserve driver tonight to help fill the grid out. But as Sylvester's now picked up the fastest lap, he is not hanging about for anybody today. Will Sam Ross listen to the advice? No, he wants to just hang it out there. He wants to hang it out there and hope that he manages to maintain his positions. But it's looking like it's settling down quite nicely now. Obviously, we've got the Ferrari boys still following each other around, going side by side, loving life between the two of them, as they do. And Solo is now nearly 8 seconds down on the front two, as Rothwell now puts in the fastest lap. Can he try and catch up to the back of Kizzy and gain that 10th position for that vital point in his title challenge? Obviously, he will drop a lot of points to the likes of Sylvester and Sparky Man, and also Dan as well. Down in P12, he has had a bit of a torrid time here in Singapore. But will we see any team orders from the Ferrari garage to allow Sparky Man just to get himself in front and have a little go at Solo? As it seems like Ian Beale is not really making too many inroads into Solo, and Sparky Man is near enough pushing Ian Beale round the circuit as we go lap by lap. Yeah, and there's no team orders here as Sparky Man has lost the back end. He's lost the back end, but managed to keep the car going. He is sat in a nice position where he's just got a bit of a cushion behind him to Mort, but Mort will 100% be looking to close the gap. And as Sylvester goes across the line, he says to Rothwell, anything you can do, I can do better, and takes that fastest lap back. But I'm sure Rothwell will be looking to steal that straight back off as Mort picks up a 3-second time penalty here. That is not at all what he'd be looking for in his debut race. Bit of a send and a bit of contact followed by a penalty. It's not ideal. But as we said earlier, this is a track. Oh, as there's contact with the Ferraris. There is contact with the Ferraris, as Rothwell has indeed stolen back that fastest lap, as Sparky Man has overtaken Ian Beale. But I got a feeling this battle is not going to end here. So let's keep on board with these Ferraris for a minute, as this could get spicy. As Sam Ross has now also been overtaken by Baker Man, and we've had another car into the pits, and it looks like Raz is just coming back out the pits after another wing change. Some of these cars have got to be running out of wings at some point tonight. Yeah, Solo seems to have put a nice little gap to these boys now, but Sparky Man will be looking to make inroads, and he's pulling a gap on Ian Beale. So maybe the swap is actually what Ferrari needed in terms of... Oh, and Callum Banditcamp has retired. Callum Banditcamp has put it in the wall. The same wall that has caught a lot of drivers out tonight, as the safety car is back out. Now, if you are Sam Ross, you have to jump in the pits. If you're Sam Ross... Oh, as Mort has picked up a drive through for speeding under the safety car. No, his night has gone from bad to worse here in Singapore. If I'm the drivers sat behind, if I got some new inters, they're getting put on. Oh, as Solo's got a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. I believe he was looking to pit, but has had a bit of a problem with the pit entry. As both the Ferrari drivers are going in, they're looking for a double stack. And yeah. It seems like... How much will Ian Beale... Yeah, Ian Beale didn't really lose any spaces. Kizzy has also stayed out. Let's have a look at the tires. Kizzy's on 11 lap old inters and Solo is on 8 lap old inters. Boys, I would be straight in the pits if I was you. You want them fresh tyres, because it sounds silly, but at the end of the day, new tyres is always the best option under the majority of safety cars, unless obviously it is lap 1 through 4 or 5 in my opinion. But we have got a mixture. I think a couple of, I think Dan and also Trim Tabs have stayed out. Obviously Raz pitted the lap before, but he will be happy that he'll be on the back of the pack again, as well as Rothwell. And Sam Ross will be buzzing about this. The fact that he has got back, managed to maintain 10th position, and he has got a new wing as well. Got the new shiny wing on. Let's have a look at actually how many, some of these drivers, 3 pit stops, 2 pit stops. So a few of them, like Sylvester, playing the game right, getting as many new sets of tyres on as possible, just to keep that advantage. But some of the penalties have also been removed now. Here we go then. So what can Solo do? The other problem with Solo as well is, as well as them used tyres, he's also got a 3-second time penalty. As we do have another driver in the pits. Kizzy has listened to the advice. Good lad Kizzy. He is now he's now looking to put some new inters on. No front wing change for him, just a fresh set of rubber to go on his car. But it seems like Sam Ross is also jumping into the box as well. Yeah, as Rothwell has picked up a 3-second time penalty. That is not ideal for Rothwell, but it's showing that Kizzy has put on 12 lap old tyres. If anyone can confirm this, that would be amazing. But it looks like he's put used tyres back on. So I don't actually know how many sets of tyres he used during qualifying. But it seems like they've put the used ones on, which is pretty confusing. But back to the penalties. So now as it stands, we've got Solo with a 3-second time penalty. Ian Beale with a 3-second time penalty. Moore with that unlucky drive through, and Rothwell with 3 seconds as well. Hopefully these last few boys can catch up to the back of the safety car. And Svander has left. Svander's left a bit late. I would have thought he would have been. But here we go. Yeah, it looks like we're going to go around again under the safety car. But there will be 5 laps to go, or 6 laps to go potentially. If it does go now, no, we're going around again. So it's looking. We'll have 6 laps to go at the end of the race. Hopefully. Oh no, the safety car is in this lap. It has decided to go in late. This is another brilliant feature of the F1 game. It's been taken from Michael Massey's 2021 handbook, that the safety car can just come in whenever it likes without no prior true warning. As Sam Ross has picked up a 5-second penalty for a collision with Rothwell, and his front wing has been absolutely obliterated looking at the circuit, as he will definitely be jumping straight back in the pits. As we've got Kizzy is also jumping back in the pits as well, so both AlphaTauris are jumping back in the box. But we are underway, and Sylvester is going for it here at turn 1, forces Solo a little bit wide, in my opinion, but Sylvester is struggling to keep this traction down. And he will be under attack from Sparky Man straight away, as Sparky Man will be looking to make amends for his previous errors. But here we go, going down the straight. There is definitely some battery burning. Solo goes a little bit defensive, and they manage to make it round the corner absolutely fine. Solo is already looking for the defensive line again. As the drivers have been pinched against the wall. Both the Ferrari drivers have managed to fly through, and they're still battling out. And Sylvester's lost his wing here. Sylvester has lost his wing. He will be absolutely furious about that. But it looked like him and Solo just got locked together a little bit. but he's still managing to keep the car going quite nicely. Obviously, he doesn't have the best traction, but it seems like Moore is struggling for a bit of traction behind. Hopefully, he can get them tyres running, but he does also have to come in for that drive-through penalties. We get a lovely little helicopter shot there. That is one of the best features of this game. Oh, and we've got contact between the Ferraris again. 0 team orders here at Ferrari as Sylvester pings the wall on the same corner as about 6 of the drivers tonight. But, oh, there was nearly contact there between Bakerman and Sylvester. But, yeah, if I was Bakerman, you just took him behind. Sylvester's going to have to jump in the box. So you may as well just tuck him behind and then get the move done, as Moore is also jumping in to serve his drive-through penalty. Just make sure you stop in time, lads, please. We don't want any 5-second penalties. But these Ferrari boys have flown clear, as we do have a yellow flag in sector 3. Now, what is that for? Sylvester has retired from the session as Moore didn't serve his drive-through, he just pit, which is confusing. Whether or not that was due to yellow flags, it would not allow him to complete his drive-through there. This game is broken, people, but it's fun, sort of. But back with the action, we do have Sparkyman has pulled a lovely 7.5 now advantage on his teammate Ian Beale behind, but crucially Bakerman is within the 3-second gap of Ian Beale. So as it stands, he will spoil the Ferrari party of that 1-2. As we also do have Rothwell looking to get a bit of an attack on Dan here. As Solo's got a 10-second time penalty for corner cutting. I don't know what Solo's doing here. I think Solo's just being a bit silly at the moment. Just massive corner cut. He might have lost a bit of traction, but a 10-second time penalty means a major corner cut, as Moore is all over the back of Kizzy. As we've also got Raz and Trim Tabs going side by side. Trim Tabs gets a lovely move done. Here we go then, as Sparkyman has pulled a beautiful advantage on his teammate here. It looks like, oh, Solo has, okay, Solo has retired in the pits. Thank you, Solo, appreciate that. It is always, as I said earlier, nice to see drivers retiring in the pits, as Trim Tabs picks up a 3-second time penalty. So as it stands, Trim Tabs will lose out that position to Raz and drop down into P7 as it stands. Dan has really fallen off the back of Rothwell here. He seems to be struggling with the pace of the Hasses. So as it stands, we're looking at a 1-2-3-4 with all Ferrari based engines, with the 2 Scuderia drivers most likely finishing P1 and P3, and the 2 Haas drivers finishing P2 and P4. It has been a lovely drive from the Haas drivers, I must say. Good recoveries from both drivers after previous mistakes, and obviously, as we have seen, the Ferrari drivers are out here having fun. Bit of carnage mixed in between, but on the whole, some brilliant driving between the 2 gentlemen. As Ian Beale has seemed to put a stop to him gaining any advantage here, and he's actually catching him back up slightly, but Bakerman is only 2 seconds down the road, and he is making that time up quite quickly on the 2 Ferrari boys. Can he put an end to this Ferrari win and try and get past, or will Ian Beale, with that time penalty, try and help his teammate out and just slow the Haas up a little bit? It's going to be interesting to see the tactics played from the drivers. Obviously, with no DRS to help, it is purely down to pace. Yeah, Bakerman now within 1.5 seconds of Ian Beale. He's now 1.3 seconds. So he really is ticking that time down quite nicely. But Dan is crucially 6 seconds down on Rothwell now. I don't know if Dan's had an issue, or it doesn't look like he has any damage. Whether or not he's just struggling to get these tyres fully firing, or if they... Let's have a quick look. Yeah, only 9 lap olds. They've still got a bit of life in them. He just seems to be struggling for pace tonight. But any P5 for him, he'll be happy with that points haul, especially with his main title rival in Sylvester crashing out of the race. But Rothwell looking to take some good points as well. He is currently sat in P3 in the standings, and he will hold at, as it stands, a minimum of P4, obviously depending what the last 2 laps have in store for us here today. As Bakerman picks up a 3-second time penalty as well now. So as it stands right here, Sparky Man, bar a complete and utter disaster here, will win this race. So Bakerman really starting to has dropped back from them now. Rothwell has picked up Bakerman's position, and he will look to go on the attack of Ian Beale, as we've got Raz has gone deep and is missing an end plate. Raz is now missing an end plate, but Kizzy is 26 seconds down the road, so hopefully Raz can nurse the car around for the last couple of laps, pick up P7, and he will be all good in that spot. But it does offer Dan and Trim Tab that little bit of security as well, seeing the driver behind them has dropped off the pace. As we do start the final lap here in Singapore, with Sparkyman in the lead, Ian Beale following, and Rothwell maintaining that 3rd spot. As what can Rothwell do on this final lap to try and gain that 2 seconds on Ian Beale? I think, like I said, Sparkyman has got this wrapped up pretty nicely here, with all the drivers getting penalties behind him, and he's just taking it easy now. Doesn't need to push too hard. Just bring the car home. Look, he's backed up a little bit there, whether or not he's trying to give his teammate a little bit of a slipstream, just to give him that bit of advantage in making sure they do get that Ferrari 1-2. But Baker has really dropped off the pack now. He has just sort of accepted the P4, which I'm sure he'd still be happy with on his debut race for LSR. And it doesn't look like we have anything else really of note, other than Sam Ross might be looking to make a move here on Kizzy on the last lap. So these Alpha boys might be ones to watch, as they are. Yeah, Sam Ross is going to look to make the move on his teammate potentially here. Oh, so there's a little bit of contact, These, we will definitely come back to these. Oh, as they've gone deep. Kizzy has gone deep. But as we can see here, the Ferrari boys are rounding the final corner, and it has been a great recovery drive from Sparky Man, and he will cross the line and take the win here tonight in Singapore, followed in P2 by Ian Beale. Rothwell will finish out the podium position. Bakerman comes across the line in P4, and we've got Dan, sort of the lone ranger here, out in P5 with another clean slate as well, I must say, on the penalty front, which is perfect. Trim Tabs is just rounding the final corners to take P6, And Raz is limping round the circuit. Oh, as he's got no wing now, not just an end plate missing, he is missing all of his wing, but he's just limping around the final corners to take himself into P7, as we've got Sam Ross has cleared Kizzy by a second now, and he will pick up P8. They will be very happy with that result, the P8 and P9. And Mort will be the last finisher coming. Oh, Sam Ross has crashed going over the line. Fantastic. And Mort will come across the line and take P10. So we've got driver of the day there as Sam Ross. In my opinion, driver of the day for me would be Sparky Man. Crusader, the whole race I had an engine issue. Crusader, which driver are you? And also, it is impossible to have an engine issue. That is not a thing in this league. Are you on controller or are you on a rig? That might be one thing to check if you're on a rig. It's Kizzy. Okay, Kizzy, if you're on a rig, you may want to check your accelerator pedal or your brake pedal, because that might have been stuck on. But the final classification for you tonight: Sparky Man P1, Ian Beale finishing P2, Rothwell in P3, Baker Man P4, as you said, Dan P5 with another clean slate on the penalty front, Trim Tabs P6, Raz in P7, Sam Ross P8, Kizzy finishing P9 with those engine issues that he is reporting, Mort P10, Solo P11, Sylvester in P12, Callum Bandit Camp in P13, Wilhelm picks up P14, Chris with his unfortunate illness will only make P15, Svander picks up P16, John Boy P17, Mr. Camus P18, Trucker P19, and All Honda Man will round it out in 20th position. Well, that is it, folks. I hope you have enjoyed tonight's race round Singapore. Me personally, I think it's been a brilliant race. There's been a bit of everything, a bit of crashing, a bit of sort of elbows out, some brilliant overtakes as well from the boys. So it's been really fun to watch. But please do join us next weekend, as we will be back on Thursday for Division 1 and also back next Monday for Division 2 again. Hopefully it'll be a dry race, hopefully a bit less carnage. But for now, thank you very much for watching and take care, and we will see you next time.